man was created in God's image, but what man has done is they've gone and created God in their own image. And so when God shows up and he does something, or does something in a different way than we would, or when we are struggling with understanding why God is doing something or how God is doing something, we will often reject it and say, well, that can't be God because it's not the God that fits my particular vision and narrative. Habakkuk doesn't do that. He says, I'm going to argue with God. And he's not really so much as arguing with him as is just like he's pleading with God, help me to understand this. And I think it's a beautiful illustration of how we need to be approaching God is, God, I don't understand why things are happening the way that they are. Help me to see it from your perspective. That's essentially what Habakkuk is doing. And he says, I'm going to sit myself, I'm going to watch to see what he will say to me. So I'm going to wait for God's answer back to me. And then what I will answer when I'm corrected. So he already realizes that his way of looking at things doesn't have the full truth. So God is revealing truth to him, because when God answers a question for us, he gives us more insight into who he is and what his character is and how he does things. That was what happened with Job. Job complained to God, how could you allow this to happen? God shows up. Who are you to ask me? Were you here when I did all these things? And in Job's case, God gave 77 different accounts of creation, things that he did. Talking about the ostrich, talking about the sun, moon, the stars. He's talking about every example he gives. Were you there when I did this? Were you there when I created that? It all comes back to the fact that God is the creator, and so therefore has the ability and will to do whatever he wants. It was correcting Job and helping Job have more insight into who God was. It seemed a little harsh, but that was the purpose. God wasn't mad at Job. God isn't mad at Habakkuk. He doesn't threaten to strike him down as a lot of pastors do when you question them. Well, why'd you say that? You need to get out of here. You're not welcome in this congregation anymore. I know many of us have had that. That's why many of us have left congregations, especially from mainstream Christianity. You start asking questions about the Shabbat. Oh, we're not going to talk about that. Out you go.